Okay, this is workout A. This is the first workout that you're going to do. And before you get started with it, I want you to ask yourself two things. So first thing is, do you want to use some hand weights today? If you answer yes, then get your hand weights ready now and you'll use those a little bit later on. And if the answer is no, don't worry. When we get to that bit, you can either leave it out completely or I'll put an option in for you. So the second thing that I want you to ask yourself is about your hips. I want you to do a quick posture assessment on yourself. So let me step back here. My posture's all over the place today where I've been stuck at a desk. So when I'm doing a posture assessment on myself, what I'm looking for, I'm looking to see that my feet are facing straight ahead. My knees are soft. I'm not going to make everything too good, but basically I'm going to get that right there. Now I've relaxed myself completely and I can see on myself this hip is sticking a bit out to the side and this shoulder's too high. I can also see that this hand is turned around and I noticed that in you earlier. So for your arms, we're going to turn them around and hold them there for a little bit like that. Now with this hip, if you do find the same as myself, that you've got one side a little bit rounded and the other side is a little bit straighter or a bit more indented, then when we come to doing side kick later on, you'll just do that one side. But if you've done your posture assessment and you've decided you look pretty much the same on both sides, then you're going to do a side kick on both sides. So you either do it 2 minutes on one side or 1 minute on each side. So hopefully we've got that about right. In terms of weights, you'll probably need something between a 1 kilogram and a 3 kilogram. I would start off with something lighter and then you can always go heavier as you progress. Right, so this is what we went through today. You're going to stop still with your knees nice and soft, hands down and hands turned round. Now we've done our posture assessment, we're going to get everything in the correct alignment. So we're talking ribs directly over the pelvis. Yeah, and from this point of view as well, directly over the pelvis, not back here, not flaring like this either, but right down over the top of it. And you feel that the abdominal muscles naturally kick in a little bit when you do that anyway. From there, squeeze your bottom nice and tightly. We know that you need to squeeze your bottom and make it stronger because you tend to find that your pelvis tips forward this way. So keep tucking under like that and open out the fronts of your hips here. Head up nice and high. Mexican wave the toes, pick them up. Mexican wave them down again. That was Mexican, not Mexican. Yeah. Staying strong. Then we're going to, actually, we're not doing that next. We're going to do this. We're going to sit all the way back, squeezing the bottom all the way. Now let your arms drop at this point here. Keep your chin tucked in. And you want a lovely straight line from the back of your head to the tailbone. You're going down like this and then slowly back up again. The knees and feet stay hip distance apart. And as you go back like this, you're going to find that your toes become lighter against the floor. Yeah, you almost feel off balance as you go down and as you go up. Feel the connection between your hips and ribs. So that's always nice and strong. This is what you don't want. You don't want anything like this or like that. Don't want to be looking at the screen all the time as you go down, because then you're going to be out of alignment. And you know a pokey out chin equals a pokey out belly. Look at this. Poke my chin out, my belly goes out. Poke my chin in, my belly goes in. Yeah, now you can add a few more of those in if you want to. And I really do recommend going nice and slow. I know that usually when you sit down in a chair, your knees will go like this. And so we'll look into your IT bands a little bit later on. Stay strong, keep pushing the knees out to the side and now come onto one leg and pick that leg up and twist it. If your balance is very good, you might want to twist it 3 times. These hips should be staying completely still. If the hips don't stay still, it's usually because the hip is lifted too high, and then as you twist the leg, the hip comes down to where it should be. So it's a big giveaway that your spine isn't in neutral, that your spine is out of alignment if you feel your hip push down like that. Yeah? Okie dokie. So let's keep that going on both sides. Lifting, twisting 3 times. Do you remember your lateral breathing? Let's have a go. Are your shoulders still level with each other? Or has one of them snuck up? Just here, if you find that you're going off balance, it's because the muscles got tight and it's bringing you over to the side perhaps. If you can start to let your vision go a bit hazy, or maybe even close 1 or 2 of those eyes as you twist that leg 3 times. Woo! Pop the leg down and then go the other side. Ooh, I need some more sleep. Staying strong in the tummy and going up again. And if you're looking at a full-length mirror, or if you see yourself on the video screen doing these exercises, you can certainly learn a lot about your body. So you can use your vision to help get you in the right position. But if you always rely on your vision, you're not going to learn how good posture feels. So sometimes use your vision to get you in the right position, but then let your eyes go blurry or fuzzy around the sides, or close your eyes and just really concentrate on what that feels like to be in the correct alignment. Yeah. Okay, so from here, we're now going to move down onto your mats. If you've got prickly mat, you might want to put that down and then put your wedge underneath it. That feels quite nice. Acupressure mat, they're called. So we're going to take you all the way down to the floor. I'll just pause the video for a moment so I can get you down there a bit smoother. Now you're going down on your mat, make sure you've got your weights handy. We're going to need those a little bit later on if you're using them. Also, you might want to use a clock to time yourself. That's if you're not doing it with me now. So I'm going to lay down on my back. Whee! I've got this lovely acupressure mat underneath me. Oh, it feels lovely. So I'm there. Yeah, and both of my feet are a little bit light against the floor. Let's move this so you can see me. There we go. Right, so we're going to put the clock on. And for 1 minute, we're going to move the left leg only. And then we'll move the right leg. Now, as I take my left leg out to the side, I'm going to be careful not to let my hips go wonky. I'm going to keep that hip down. I'm feeling that the back of the pelvis on my right hand side is lovely and flat against the floor as I slide my leg forward and bring it back. Now the leg itself, the foot itself is always in contact with the floor. So at this point it's the side of the foot and then it's the heel as I'm coming back like that. Yeah. You can probably hear how my voice has changed a little bit, and that's because I'm pulling down with my external obliques as well as pulling up with my pelvic floor. When I pull down with the external obliques, they flatten my diaphragm. If I just let them go for a moment, you see the difference and probably hear the difference in my voice. But if I pull them back on, see how the back of the rib cage there flattens against the floor. And now I'm working really hard. On this leg, can you see how I've dropped it out to the side a little bit? That should be right up there with the largest ball of the foot against the floor. There you go. This time, my left foot's going to be the one that's a little bit light on the floor, and that's going to stay still as I move my right leg, sliding it forward and easing it back. Have your chin tucked in, your neck lengthened. You might be able to bring your shoulders down a little bit more, but just let them relax. Don't try and force your shoulders into any particular position. So sliding the foot along the floor. If your heel is tripping off the end of your mat, you're better off getting rid of the mat completely. If your foot ever feels that it has to lift up, then you're not going to stretch the muscle that you should be stretching. If you lift the leg up, then you're starting to contract the very muscle that I'm trying to get you to stretch. Hold there for a sec. Just preparing to use the weights now. So you're going to be circling the arms, making sure that you really are ready to use the weights. If there's any problems with the arms whatsoever, I prefer that you spend your time stretching your arms rather than using the weights and making things stronger there. Yeah, there's no point dealing on strength in any area until we've got full range of movement. So like this here, if I was doing this and I found that my shoulders were clicking or grinding or something like that, I would stay here, make the circles a lot smaller. Notice how the palm of the hand is facing my face rather than my knuckles. I can never see the knuckles when I'm doing the exercise correctly. And gradually making it larger and larger and larger. Okay, so I'm going to assume now that you are fully fit in your shoulder joint. You're holding your rib cage down as you do those big circles. You've maybe even brought it round into chicken wings. Yeah. And now what we're going to do is grab hold of those weights. These are 3 kilogram. They're a little bit on the big side, really. Probably I'd start off with 1s or 2s, and if you'll get a feel for it after a while what you can do. When you put the weights in your hand, have a little bit of a gap like that at the front, so you're making a slight V shape. Your elbows are soft and your shoulder blades are firm against the floor. Your waist is nice and firm. Now maybe count very, very slowly going over, very slowly. And the weights don't touch the floor. And also your elbows remain a little bit soft. And then come all the way back again. Be careful to keep the rib cage down as you go. Any time you did find the weight too much, there's no reason why you couldn't go down to one weight. You could hold it like that, or you could hold the edges of the weight like that and take it slowly over. Often people don't need to put up the weight. It's just if they move their arms slower, then the weight will become heavier because you're holding it for a longer period of time. Don't overdo it, guys. If your body's had enough, definitely have a break. Otherwise, keep going until my timer goes off. When your muscles do need, when you have had a little go, afterwards just stretch out your fingers. Maybe pull your arm back like that and stretch out your biceps. I know that your elbow might hyperextend, so be careful not to lock that out. Keep that a little bit soft. And then the other side just for a little bit. I'm doing that after typing at the moment. I think it's because I'm on a flat keyboard a lot of the time on my laptop, but I'm finding that's making me quite tight, so I'm stretching out quite regularly on that as well. Right, so you've got that. Then we're going to go on to your side, and this is what I said about earlier about doing a posture check with yourself at the beginning, and just notice whether one hip is tighter than the other. So this is my hip that needs tightening. So what I'd do for myself, if this was my workout, I'd be holding this exercise for 2 minutes this side. I'm going to put 1 minute timer on, so if you found that you're even today, once that timer goes off, you can switch to the other side. Here we go. Extend your legs, have them slightly forward. Yep, ribs are up, and you're extending the legs. And you can't see my foot, but I'm pointing it up and I'm flexing it down. Pointing it up and flexing it down. It always makes me giggle when I do these videos because my feet look huge when I actually do this exercise. Yeah. When this side needs tightening, usually the inner thigh here will need tightening as well. Yeah. Whilst you keep going, just going to show you that. So if I'm here, if I was standing or even kneeling and that hip's pushing out to the side, can you see how that my pubic bone is now pointing towards that leg? And because the inner thigh attaches to that, that means that that muscle on that side is getting tighter. So I actually need to tighten this one because it'll be getting looser. Switch to the other side or keep going with this side, up to you. I've still got the timer going. Pointing up, flexing down. You might want to take it up and glide it forward before coming down. That's always an option. Yeah. So whatever you did on the other side, I want you to do it on this side. I've had my flip-flops on today. I hope my feet look clean. I'm not going to re-video it now. I'm shattered. Has this rib still up? Yeah. And this arm's relaxed, but this one isn't. This one's very straight on your side. There you go. Right. From there, knees up to your chest, ribs still lifted, and we're going into quad stretch. Quadricep stretch like that. And holding that for a minute. Breathing deeply. So I think what I said earlier to you was that as I breathe laterally, sometimes if I haven't done lateral breathing for a while, the muscles here in between my ribs, I can really feel them stretching. I breathe in through my nose and my nostrils flare, and then I feel as though the breath takes the shape of my cranium and follows it round like a big wave. And when it comes down, I feel that it comes down to the back of the ribs first. The ribs move backwards before they move out to the side, but they never move forward because everything on the front half of my body I'm trying to keep really strong. Yeah. Now, just for a little bit, just because I know that you were tightening your shoulders today, we're going to take your arm back and ease it forward again. And do the same thing again. There you go. One more. This hand is always in alignment, and my elbow is in alignment with this strap that goes around my rib cage here. Okay, picking the leg up, quad stretch again, or bringing it into an IT band stretch if you feel that you need it. In the IT band, don't forget your knee still needs to be moving backwards as well as now moving downwards. Sometimes people's knees go a lot lower towards the floor than mine. Mine is a wee bit tight today, but it's nothing major, just a little bit tight. While I'm moving my knee backwards, my pubic bone is trying to move forward, and I'm separating my hip bone and my thigh bone. If you start to feel pain around the outside of your knee, it means that you're pushing it too much. So you can still do the IT band just like that. You don't have to put this leg on top. And if this leg is on top, it's just placed on top. It's not pushing. Now I am going to do the stretches on the other side, but not yet. Yeah. So before I go on to the other side, I'm going to lay on my back. And we've got two options here. So option number one, we ski slope up and squeeze your bottom as hard as you possibly can. My feet and my knees are hip distance apart. If I'm finding that that's absolutely fine to do, I could put the ankles and knees together and hold it from there. And roughly for 4 to 5 lateral breaths, maybe longer if you've got more time. You might find things are starting to shake a little bit now. It's quite normal. Still squeezing your bottom. Still got a little bit of a gap here I have. But my ribs are firmly pressed against the floor. Now I'm rolling down. And the second time I do the exercise, I'm either going to do exactly the same thing or I'm going to roll up and stay there and take my leg into this position here. Then squeeze my bottom ever so tightly. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Shoulders relaxed, chin tucked in. Soften the bottom a little bit and then squeeze it again. This is the second time. Oh, it should be starting to feel really hard now. And release. And then go again. Yeah. Some people get cramp on that one. I don't think that will happen to you because you've got nice long hamstrings. Now, watch, this knee's very close to my chest whilst I roll down bit by bit by bit. I'm going to pop the leg on the floor and bring the other leg up and just curve and roll up again. Squeeze. And release. And again, squeeze. And release. And squeeze and hold it ever so tightly. The toes on this foot are lovely and spread out. Knee very close to your chest. Roll it down. Walking each vertebra down one at a time, all the way down. You might want to even hug your knees before you go on and do something else. Okay, now we're going to stretch the other side. So you could just roll onto this side and do it, but I will whiz round this way. Just so you can see me from the front. All right, so like that, knee up nice and high, coming into your quad stretch. Let's put the timer on. With the cushion that you put underneath your head, make sure it's the right size for you. If it's too bulky, your head will be like that. And that's worse than not having any cushion at all. See, if I haven't got a cushion, my neck's a bit out of alignment. Can you see how it sort of drops down away from the rest of my spine? That goes like that. So I only need something very small there between my head and my arm. Yeah, still gripping this thigh bone parallel to the floor. Stay nice and strong. 15 seconds left. Ooh, I've worked you a bit harder than I might have said I was going to. 3 exercises left. Yep, so the first one is those arms, or that arm. Forward and back, the elbow is soft, yeah? Don't straighten it, don't come right up here. Definitely get the shoulder down and definitely use this muscle. What's it called? Serratus anterior. And now IT band stretch on that side. I love these little clocks. If you ever want the same little clock as me, just drop me a line and I'll show you. I've just got it on either eBay or Amazon or something. It's for a cooker. I know that you can put your time on your phones. I know that you can do them on your watches. It's ever so slightly quicker to go from this than it is to set it up on those other things. And I just love these little clocks. Yeah. Sometimes I'll make a promise to my Phil that I'll only be 10 minutes and then I'll quickly put that on for 10 minutes. Well, actually, sometimes I put it on for 11 and don't tell him. And then when he says I'm late, I go, no, I'm not. Look at this. Put the clock on. All right, releasing that. Wait. That should have been an IT band stretch, actually, shouldn't it? Where you go up and ease it down there if you want to, or without the leg on. I bet you knew that already. Okay, double leg kick. Double leg kick. Right, I've finished on this one because I think this is one of the most beneficial exercises for you. So I wanted to leave it as the last exercise so that you can keep going with it after I finish this video if you want to. I'd love it if you carry on. Right. If you've got some glasses on, you might want to take those off. You put your hands up your back here. Yeah. Squeeze your bottom so that your hip is lifted from the floor. This bottom rib. Sometimes the flesh touches the floor, but the rib itself, the actual bone, you're trying to keep lifted from the floor. And that even stays lifted as you come into this bit here. So trying to lift it up. And you lift it up by lifting up this area rather than trying to lift it up from that end. This is bad and this is good. So you want that area of your back to stay straight all the time. Your hands are turned around, little fingers touch to your thighs, nose pointing downwards, and possibly stay in there for a few lateral breaths before turning the head to the other side and bringing the arms up, elbows down. I'm showing you my back again because I want you to see that my back stays unwrinkled as I'm doing my legs like that. Oh, that's such a noisy thing. Then you'll slide your hands down, extend through the crown of the head. Yep. Hold it there, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 lateral breaths. The more you can do, the better, really. Serratus anterior, working hard here. Your triceps working hard. Your arms are straight and therefore your triceps should be working hard. Yeah. Then bringing your head to the other side. The arms go up, the elbows go down, the legs go in. Yeah. As you become more flexible, you'll eventually be able to put the legs together. So the knees are touching and the ankles are touching, or actually maybe the sides of the feet rather than the ankles as you do that particular part of the exercise. I'm going to let you keep going. With this exercise, make sure that you don't prop yourself up like this afterwards. You'll undo all the good work that you've just been doing. You don't need to do any stretches after that exercise. So go for as long as you can. Every time you do this workout, maybe do something like a big smiley face on your calendar. You want to put it so that everybody goes, what does that mean? Why have you got that big smiley face on your calendar? And you can say, well, you know, that's because I'm mega fit and I've been doing X, Y, and Z to get that smiley face on there. Anyway, good luck with it. Report back to me. Best of luck. See ya. Bye.